What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about mobile homes. So stay tuned for 5 things you need to know before you buy one. Let's go. Hey guys, what's up? This is Labrie Borthasol. I'm a realtor with EXP in Kamloops, and today we're going to talk about mobile homes. So maybe you've thought about a single family home, and maybe you thought about going the townhouse route or the apartment route, or anything in between, and you're looking at all your options and you've thought, okay, I really want my own place, where I don't have to share any walls, I don't have to share my roof or my ceiling, and I want something affordable and something within my budget. Or if you're headed into retirement and you want to be able to buy something with cash, these are all good reasons to look into modular living, mobile home type of situations. But the other thing about mobile homes is there's a lot to consider. So today I'm going to go through 5 things that you should consider when you're thinking about going with the manufactured home route. So I should also touch on the fact that there are 3 terms that are kind of used interchangeably when referring to mobile homes. So you can call them mobile homes, you can call them modular homes, or you can call them manufactured homes. They're pretty much synonymous. So for the purposes of today's video, I'll try to stick to the term mobile home. Okay, so you've decided that this is that this route is something you want to go down. So you need to know, are you going to buy a new mobile home or a used mobile home? Now, I'm really going to talk more about the market for used mobile homes. There's a big market for that, especially here in Kamloops. It makes up a good chunk of the market, simply because it can be more affordable if you're going about it the right way. It can be a really low price point, get you into a home, and that you can call your own. If you do want to buy a brand new mobile home, you'll have to go to a manufacturer, and there's several in Kamloops, but you'll go to the manufacturer and you'll have to talk about your options more on a case-by-case basis with them. So if you don't have the land you already want to put the house on, then you'll have to arrange a park that is either new or has a lot available that you could put your home on. And I'll talk more about this when I talk about knowing about what the parks are like. But for the sake of the rest of the video, I'll mostly stick to the used market for mobile homes. So new or used being the number one thing to consider. If you are going to endeavor to buy a used mobile home, I implore you to hire a realtor, especially a realtor that has experience in the transactions that are involved with buying a used mobile home. Number 2, financing. So financing is a big consideration when you're buying a used mobile home. I often see people come across my desk who have seen an advertisement for or a listing for a mobile home that's like $45,000. This is not super uncommon. And it looks like an amazing price tag, especially when you go, okay, I'm gonna Google mortgage calculator, and I figured out if I finance $45,000 over 25 years, my payments can be like $200 a month. That's totally affordable. But that's not how it typically works, unfortunately. So when you see the age of a home, typically something that's 40 years old or older, lenders don't see it as having a really long shelf life, because lenders are lending only on the value of the actual home with most mobile homes. Now, if you own the land that it sits on, then the mobile home has value even beyond that age range. But younger than 40 years old is kind of where your sweet spot's going to be if you're buying a used mobile home that's going to be in a park, for example. So age is a big consideration for when you're looking at used mobile homes. Number 3, what's the park like? Now there's 2 different types of parks. There are the traditional mobile home parks with pad rent. So one owner owns the entire park and the land it all sits on. And then the individual owners of the house own their own little homes that sit on top of it. So they have no right to what's underneath the house. So that's your traditional style. And then you have a Bareland Strata style home, mobile home park. So the Bareland Strata ones, you actually own your little lot that your house sits on. And they're managed by a Strata council, and they are taken care of in that way. So the developer will buy the lot the whole park, and then sell off each individual Bareland Strata lot. And there's not one singular owner of the whole park. Those are the two types of mobile home parks. So what else do you want to know about the park is, well, anything you need to know about Strata living. So what are the park rules? This is true of Bareland Strata or traditional parks. What are the rules? Can you have pets? Typically you can have 2, and it doesn't usually matter which one of each, but that can always change. So, some parks maybe only allow cats. Some parks I've heard of don't like cats at all. It just depends. You'll need to know the park rules. Contact your realtor, and they can find out the park rules for you real quick and easy. Also good to know if there's any age restrictions in the park. So sometimes some parks are more geared towards 55 and older, and some don't care. Some of them will have rules about, younger. If they have that age restriction, they might bend a little if you're a couple years younger than that rule, but they would have strict rules about who can spend time at your home and for how long. So say you've got grandkids that you want to come visit you in your mobile home park, and maybe the park doesn't want your kiddos hanging around for 2 weeks at a time. Sometimes that's the case. Really important information to have. And then the other big thing to consider with the park rules is how much is your pad rent. So in traditional parks have pad rent. They are typically start at least $350 a month. I've seen over $550 a month for just pad rent alone in some Kamloops parks. It's getting high. So that can sometimes blow people's budgets way out of the water, especially when you're looking at a $50,000 mobile home. Well, you have to have $50,000 usually. Obviously, anything's possible. Creative financing is a thing, but you also have to have $500 a month or more for, well, that's just pad rent. That doesn't include your utilities or anything like that. So it can get pricey. And then the other type of park is, of course, the Bareland Strata. So they don't call it pad rent. It's your Strata fees there. And they're typically pretty low. I've seen all the way down to $80 a month, and I've seen up to $225 a month for the Strata fees. It just depends also what those Strata fees cover. So most parks, you don't ever have to worry about snow removal up to your driveway. The whole park's gonna have snow removal taken care of. Sometimes with the Bareland Strata parks, that's gonna include your water, sewer, garbage, maybe even in some rare cases hydro. But you'll need to know what the fees include, and especially with the Bareland Strata parks. Okay, key item number 4. We're kind of going back to the financing aspect of things. So if you need to finance it, there's a document called a site lease, and the park will need to sign off on this site lease. It's a document that needs to be provided to the lender. Sometimes they're written up by the lender to be signed by the park manager, park owner, and the tenant, which is the homeowner, which is you. So, site lease document. Important to know if the park will sign one. Rare cases, sometimes they won't. And then lenders just say, okay, we're out. That's not a property that we necessarily want to get involved in. Okay, number 5 is electrical upgrades or updates or changes at all. You'll want to know if any of those have been done, and if they were done under permit and by a licensed electrician. So this ties into, does the home have what Technical Safety BC calls the silver label? So homes are not legally allowed to be put up for sale without a silver label, because it just, Technical Safety BC believes that they just are uncertain of what the electrical safety situation is like in that home. So really important to know, does it have a silver label? And if so, you will need proof of that as you go through the sale process. Okay, that was 5 things you needed to know before you endeavor to buy a mobile home. If you have any questions, or if I missed anything, or you just are like, what does that even mean? Leave a comment below, give me a call, and don't forget to click that subscribe button, like this video. We'll see you next time.